Hey folks, we are back unboxing another iteration of the great old Eggplane. I love them so much. I think I'm kind of addicted. I can't stop. And looking at another version from another company, Freedom model, they make what is probably the best rendition of the F-20 Tiger Shark I've ever seen. They make some really cool stuff. They make a great F-5, and they've shrunken that F-5 down into, well, they have they call it the compact series. And they have started putting out basically it's an Eggplane. It is also an Eggplane. We're going to call it an Eggplane even though it's the compact series. Just recently, I looked at AFV Club's Q scale, and they have an F-5 series that we unboxed. I have just finished building one, and it was pretty nice to put together. Just about on par in terms of build parts, technical and complication level with Hasegawa's Eggplane series. And of course, I did this with the Green Stuff World color shift paints that I've been messing with lately and loving just so much. So, and I will reveal the reason I'm doing all these wacky planes sometime soon. So, but this one was very easy, very fun to build, just like any of the other Eggplane type planes I have before. A couple differences we'll talk about, in the coming days when I kind of have some more finished. But we've got this, and as I was looking around, I wanted to get some more F5s for just because I love the F5 overall, and I saw that Freedom had theirs, and I noticed that they're a little bit different in terms of shape. They're looking at it, I feel like they're a little less anime cartoon. They still are that Eggplane shape, but they take the shape of the F5 just a little bit more seriously, a little less chibi than AFV Club does. And I thought it'd be interesting, after doing this one, to grab their set and see. Both AFV Club and Freedom have the F5 in. I just realized the sticker my son put on my hand is still on my hand as I'm doing this video. So AFV Club gives you 2 single-seaters in their set. Freedom gives you a single-seat E and a 2-seat F, which is really cool. The AFV Club set that I have is Taiwanese Air Force markings, but they also have a Navy aggressor set very similar to this. In fact, I think it actually is also VFC-111 Sundowners markings. Here's what we've got in terms of markings. And yeah, there we go. So let's take a look at what's inside this box. Now there are two whole sets, 2 whole complete models. This looks like front section for, wow, I can already tell, looking at the Freedom models, just the cockpit sections, they already take it, and I'm not trying to say this as an insult to anyone else, but they seem to take these Eggplanes more seriously as a model kit than anybody else. You can just see the number of panel lines and the detail they put into that compared to any of the Hasegawa ones I've seen. They are really trying to put, like, they actually have the latches on the gun access doors where they would be. They've got a lot of detail going on these little planes. They've got way more detail inside the cockpit than I've seen in any other plane, in this genre at all. That's pretty cool. So we've got 2 forward fuselage. Let's see, what do we got? We got 2-seat canopy, and again, it can feel that canopy rail molding. Very nice for land marking. And a single-seat canopy. Interesting that these are in a different color. I wonder why that is. But we've got these wow, even the sidewinders are 2 pieces. All right, so we've got sidewinders. Are these people parts? These are pilots. These are we're gonna have to get into these and take a look. And then I would assume that basically the difference in, you know, the F-5E and the F-5F model-wise would all be in the forward area. But you can take a look at this, like the level of detail in that fuselage piece, and you know, Freedom really is putting the detail into these. It's crazy comparing them to just about any other Eggplane, compact, Q, whatever you want to call it, plane I've seen. So then we've got, what do we have here? Ooh, don't want to lose decals. Looks like painting instructions. Beautiful full color painting instructions. And decal. Wow, look at that. Really nice. Big pictures. Very nice placements. Looking at AFV clubs, they're also full color, but smaller, much smaller. But what I really appreciate about the AFV club instructions is that they give you the FS colors, the federal standard, the 595B colors to use, instead of just a Mr. Color call out there. Two sets of instructions too. One for the, you can make an F5E or the RF5E tie your eye, the photo recon version. And this is very nice instructions. Wow. Very nice instructions. What is this? Is this like a Lego minifig pilot? Okay. I still love the Hasegawa pilot figures best of all. You get an option to build two different pilots. Usually, some of them don't come with pilots. Most of them have. You can have a visor down pilot or a. I don't know if you'll be able to see the pilot in here very well, but you can even have a full, face pilot in there, and they even give you these great decals for big wide anime eyes. This seems that you just are basically building a helmet over a blank Lego head looking thing. But besides that, great amount of detail going into this. And you can choose to do your RF5E. Don't have decals for it in this set, but I mean, in the last F5 unboxing, we talked about just kind of putting whatever decals you want into play to make your own, your own model. There's plenty of references out there on what actual colors to use if you don't use Mr. Color, so it's not like this is, a real hindrance. It would be nice, though, if they gave you more than just these Mr. Color stock numbers to use. Normally I look at this stuff after we look at the parts, but let's get into the details since they're right here. These kind of remind me of Airfix type decals, where they normally decals have a very glossy surface, and these don't, but they're, you feel a little bit thick, a little tiny bit thick. But, I mean, not bad. I don't think they're bad decals or anything. And you do get some other national markings if you want to, we'll look through this if it gives you listings of what countries they are. It doesn't really say in here. It doesn't say in the instructions at all? Is that really how it's going to go? So there's, nothing here. But we've got Brazil. Honestly, don't know what that, I can't remember what that one is right now, but Brazil, Thailand, Singapore, and Switzerland, in addition to the U.S. Navy markings. What is that one? It'll come to me in the middle of me trying to talk about something else, and I will try not to yell it out as I remember it. Let's get into the bags and take a look at what we have and it's Malaysia. I knew I would remember. Malaysia. That's what that one is. Okay, sorry. All right. So, nice plastic. Not weak or flimsy or anything. I don't see any warped parts. Everything looks very... The amount of detail they put in to this little tiny Eggplane is incredible. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm planning on building one of these almost right away. You know what? I won't. I'll do a video on building it. I was going to cut pieces off right away, but panel lines are all engraved. They're not deep, so you don't want to layer too much on them, but you can feel them nicely. Just really, I'm impressed. Look at these vents that go. Take a look at those vents. Excellent, excellent quality. And it's got a lot more to put together as a model. If you look at the number of pieces and everything compared to your usual Eggplane, it's just got a lot more going on. Now, some people might like that, some people might not. Some people like, I think, the simplicity and the kind of silliness of the Eggplane for what it is. They don't want to put together an entire scale model when they're putting together an Eggplane. It's a simple, small, little silly project. But this has just a lot of detail in it. Has separate gun barrels for the guns. I'm not sure where they are, but we'll find them somewhere along in here. Let's see. We're going to open both forward fuselages so we get a look. So this is the E version, the single seat. And let's take a look at the F. Relatively thick plastic too, I feel like, on something this size, but I'm excited to get this together. I think I'm going to do the F first, and I'm actually going to do it in the normal markings, not some crazy metallic 1970s carnival ride color, but it looks really, really good. No seam to deal with on there. I feel like there's a little tiny bit of distortion. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. It's very clear. Everything looks really great. Still is going to get a little dip in future, just to make it perfectly shiny and everything. From this far away, it distorts, but looking right underneath, it's perfect. Not flimsy or anything. Very nice. Very nice. Very excited to get started on this one. So let's see, what else do we have? We have our missiles. Now these feel like they're made of a different plastic, a softer kind of plastic. It feels entirely like a different plastic than the rest of the model. And what's interesting here too is I feel like they're trying to make these weapons in scale somehow with the rest of the plane, which is a first, because you look at these missiles and they're not a scale Sidewinder at all. They're just there to fit on the wingtip of the plane. Same thing we saw kind of with the Hasegawa Su-33. These are not scale at all. They're not even in scale with each other. They're just there to fit, on the plane. And they're definitely not in scale with the plane at all. I mean, because, you know, we've already discussed this. There's no set scale for Eggplane. It is, you know, it is what it is. It's just an Eggplane. So it's interesting to see what I feel like is an attempt to have the missile be in scale, sort of, with the plane itself. What do we have? These are the pilot figures. Also feels like that different kind of plastic. Well, this is kind of cool. We've got separate visors, which, you know, you'd have to paint a different color. I mean, they give you clear, and that's great, but there's no face. There's really no head. There's this plug, so we have to paint that a smoky dark color, because you can't have a clear visor on this person. It's funny, all the detail that went into the plane and everything, and then you get this as your pilot, which is like a crash test dummy. That's just really weird to me. Almost like the pilot figure. It's almost like the pilot figure went in as an afterthought to the rest of the plane. Overall, I think it is a really nice, really well done model on the whole, and it's going to be very interesting to see it sitting side by side with this one. So, I mean, I'll probably do them both right away. One in the proper coloring, and then one in my my psychedelic schemes. So, I hope you'll be interested in seeing how it's built up. But this does look like an excellent kit as well. I mean, their F-5 kits, their F-20 kits are great. They're really, really good. So I was hopeful, and really had good expectations of this kit. So I hope you guys, those of you that are into Eggplanes or thinking maybe you should try them, I hope you thought that this was, you know, a good, maybe this is a good place to start transitioning from the complicated world of a real scale model into the kind of fun world of the Eggplane. Or maybe you don't want to. Maybe you just want to go to something a little simpler, and just relax and have fun with it. I don't know, but I'm definitely excited to get into this one. Of course, your thoughts, your comments, anything you have to say is welcome in the comment section. I have a lot of projects I need to get back to, you guys know. So if you just like watching the videos, great. If you're a builder yourself, keep building them well. In any case, I'll see you guys all again real soon.